And welcome back to Metro Morning Live. Joining us with our weekly chat, as we always do, is Dr. Eldridge Henderson. He is the president of the Action Leaders Forum 369. He's also, listen to this, he's a keynote speaker for colleges, family reunions, churches, conferences, retreats, and community organizations. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning,
Did I
sir.
leave anything out?
No, you did.
I said everything?
That's good enough for me.
Yes, sir. It's always good to see you, Doc.
Thank you.
Now, this morning we're going to talk about senior citizens.
That's correct.
And the problems and the issues that they face.
That's right. And Mr. J, I want to tell you, a lot of people don't know it, but that's one of the most serious problems in America. Mm-hmm. And as we go through this interview, I will tell you why.
Now, first of all, one alarming fact about senior citizens is that they're suffering in America, and suffering will increase by 50% in the next 20 years. Why is that so?
Well, it's because most senior citizens have just enough health care to keep them alive. And many of them are living longer and longer. Therefore, since they don't have adequate medical care, they are economically debased. The money is not with them as long as they are alive. They are usually in poverty. They have an interest in remaining at home. They can't handle the situation at home. Then they need outside care from caregivers or relatives, and that usually doesn't come out very well. The older a senior gets, the worse his or her situation becomes.
Now, Doc, I don't want to call you a senior citizen.
Well, you should do so, because I had a birthday the other day.
Is that right?
Just Sunday.
Well, happy birthday there, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
All right, and you just turned 55 years old.
Not quite.
I don't want to call you senior citizen, but since you say you are, how would you advise seniors to deal with problems and issues that they face today?
Well, one of the first things they will have to do is start thinking in what I call a new order. Any senior citizens that is halfway active should become more active. Mm-hmm. They should go and find a part-time job or create one. They should do all kinds of things, such as walking, talking to friends, enroll in some kind of educational institution. At colleges and universities, if they have high school diplomas, they can go to some of these classes free. Mm-hmm. For instance, Jackson State University has something called the Senior College, and any senior with a high school diploma or higher can enroll in that program and take seminars, workshop, regular courses, get a degree, or do whatever they want to do.
Now, is tobacco a concern for senior citizens?
Very, very serious. Most senior citizens, that smoke, been smoking most of their lives. And many of them have double tobacco problems. Cigarettes, some smoke pipes, others dip snuff, and just interchange all these,
cigars.
Especially the old ones, that's right, cigars. And most of the serious problems happening in these rural areas where the senior citizens live, especially those that are on these farms, old plantations, and they have old, what I call community standards, where there are certain things they do. They don't have a lot of activities, and they sit around and smoke, look at television, and very, very inactive in most situations.
But it's difficult to get a senior citizen that's been smoking that long to stop.
Very difficult. Most won't. They will tell you, for instance, that they would. To give you an example, my dad is 92, and it took him 40 years to quit smoking. I think he probably quit 2 or 3 days at a time, about 15 or 20 different times. But when he turned 65, and he was told that certain things going to happen to him, he quit on the spot.
Oh, is that right?
Most people are afraid of death.
Yes.
And when the doctors tell them they're going to die, they will do something to change that status.
Yes, sir. Well, you don't smoke, do you, Doc?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Now, is HIV and AIDS a concern for senior citizens?
It is.
How is that?
Well, it's because most senior citizens are good people. They are faithful. But as you know, it is very current now for senior citizens to leave each other through death. And those that are 50 and older, most of them are very active sexually. And they have multiple partners, especially the men. And they think that since they are old, they don't have to use protection. And this is a very sensitive topic, but we have to talk about it. And when you're engaging in multiple partners, you've been married for 50 years, or 40 years. And a lot of these men, and some of the women, are just ruining themselves. They get HIV, AIDS,
Wow.
because they're not protecting themselves. And they are free for once. And they want to do what they've been wanting to do all along.
All
But
the time
since they are
yeah.
virtuous and religious, they were faithful to their mate.
Yes, sir.
So that is a serious problem. 50% increase in that
Okay.
since the 1990s.
Wow.
With AIDS among seniors.
Now, Doc, when you also look at issues concerning senior citizens, I guess one of the main ones is access to health care.
That's right. Access to health care is easy for those that have the proper insurance, have drug protection, Medicaid, you have Medicare. And if you have some money where you can get extra care if you need it, you can get yourself in a situation where you can live a long time without a lot of health adversity. But if you're poor, you live in an environmental prone area where there are a lot of factories and pollution, you don't have adequate transportation, which a lot of them don't, you usually get worse very fast, and then you get to the point where you need to be put somewhere where you can have 24-hour care. And that's another problem. It is very difficult to find an adequate place when you are poor, old, sick. You go to a home somewhere, you don't have adequate care, the staff usually is ill-trained, and they don't have the skills they need to give you the care that is necessary for you to remain active.
Okay. Well, Doc, I see there's a lot to talk about with senior citizens, and looks like our time is kind of running out a little bit. Anything else you want to just add? Because we can finish this conversation next week.
Well, let's do that. Let's finish next week. But I would like to add that in summary, senior citizens should continue to work 5 or 10 hours a week. They should eat better, stay away from all these fried foods, and they should most certainly have a lot of emphasis on communication. They need to talk more with people. They should buy a computer or go to the senior citizens and learn to use the computer so they can talk to their friends and relatives and grandchildren.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of other good things can happen, and that'll just change their lives.
But Doc, again, you are on each and every week on the PED Network, and tell us a little bit about your shows and the times.
Well, every week we're on twice, and we always talk about economics, politics, religion, community development, and other issues that's necessary to address. And mainly now we are getting ready to do some new shows, and we will be talking about national politics and how there are going to be some significant changes in America.
I really want to see this. I want to see this show
Well,
because we don't agree on politics, me and you.
Well, we're not supposed to agree because you are a Democrat, and I'm nonpartisan.
Yes, sir.
So I look for the best candidate and not the party.
Well, I look for the best candidate also.
Well, how you can look for the best candidate when you are in a party and you won't change?
Well, I didn't say I was in the party. Doc.
I know you didn't say it,
okay, well,
but we already know what you do.
We're not going to agree on that. But, Doc, thanks for coming by this morning, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Stay with us more Metro Morning Live after the break.